When people think of war, they usually imagine numbers, weapons, and strategy. But when the Quran speaks about war, it goes deeper. It speaks not only about victory on the battlefield, but also about victory in the heart, in the soul, and in the moral character of believers. Today, we will explore Surah Al-Anfāl, the 8th chapter of the Quran. Its title, Al-Anfāl, literally means the spoils of war. But if you look closely, you will realize that this chapter is not just about material spoils. It is about lessons that go far beyond the battlefield. It is about faith, unity, patience, and the unseen help that God provides to those who remain sincere. Surah Al-Anfāl was revealed in the aftermath of the Battle of Badr, the first major battle in Islamic history. The Muslims were small in number, about 313 men, while the Quraysh army was more than 3 times larger, well-equipped and confident. By all worldly standards, the Muslims should have lost, but they did not. Against all odds, they won. And this victory became a turning point in Islamic history. This surah came down to explain why they won, what lessons they should take from this event, and how they should handle both success and responsibility. The surah begins with a question from the believers about the spoils of war. Who should take them? Who owns them? The Quran answers in a powerful way. They ask you about the spoils of war. Say, the spoils belong to Allah and His Messenger. So fear Allah and set matters right among yourselves, and obey Allah and His Messenger if you are believers. 8.1. The very first verse shifts the focus. It is not about gold, armor, or material gain. It is about obedience, unity, and putting God at the center. Victory is not measured by how much wealth you gain after battle. It is measured by how much faith you gain within your heart. One of the most striking lessons of Surah Al-Anfāl is that victory does not depend on numbers. In verse 65, the Quran tells the Prophet that if there are 20 steadfast believers, they can overcome 200. If there are 100, they can overcome 1,000. This verse reminds us that faith, patience, and determination can outweigh sheer numbers and equipment. History has shown this repeatedly, not only in Badr, but in many struggles throughout time. The real battlefield is the heart. If it is firm, strong, and connected to God, then even the smallest group can achieve the impossible. Surah Al-Anfāl also emphasizes the unseen help that came during Badr. The Quran tells us that God sent down angels to strengthen the believers, that He sent rain to purify them and make the ground firm under their feet, and that He placed fear in the hearts of their enemies. This shows that ultimate victory does not come from human planning alone. Yes, strategy and preparation matter, but in the end, success is from God. The believers are asked to prepare as much as they can, but then to trust that outcomes are in divine hands. Another major lesson in Surah Al-Anfāl is discipline. Believers are told not to turn their backs in battle, not to be distracted by worldly gain, and not to disobey the Prophet's commands. The surah also warns against disunity. Internal division is more dangerous than any enemy. The Muslims at Badr were united, disciplined, and obedient, and that unity was a key reason for their victory. This is a lesson for us today. Whether we are facing challenges as a community or even personal struggles, unity and discipline are critical. When a group of people stand together with sincerity, they can overcome challenges far bigger than themselves. So, what are the true spoils of war according to Surah Al-Anfāl? They are not just swords, shields, or treasures. The real spoils are stronger faith, realizing that God's promise is true; unity, learning to put aside ego and work together; patience, enduring hardship with trust in God; moral clarity, knowing that victory comes with responsibility, not arrogance. In this way, the chapter reframes how we think about winning. The biggest win is not defeating an external enemy, but defeating arrogance, selfishness, and doubt within ourselves. Although Surah Al-Anfāl was revealed after a battle in the 7th century, its lessons are timeless. In our lives, we often face battles, not with swords, but with challenges, temptations, and struggles. Like the Muslims at Badr, we may feel outnumbered and overwhelmed, but with faith, patience, and unity, we can succeed. True victory is not about what we gain materially, but about who we become through the struggle. This chapter teaches us that God helps those who help themselves. Prepare as much as you can, but trust that outcomes are in His hands. Surah Al-Anfāl is more than a story about war. It is a reminder that the believer's greatest battles are often beyond the battlefield. They are in the heart, in the community, and in the choices we make every day. It challenges us to think, what do I value more, material gain or spiritual growth? Am I united with my community or divided by ego? Do I rely only on myself, or do I trust in God's help? The chapter of Anfāl shows us that true spoils are not weapons or wealth, but faith, unity, patience, and guidance. That is how believers win, not only in battle, but in life itself. So, when you think of victory, remember Surah Al-Anfāl. Remember that success is not only about winning outside, it is about winning inside. That is how believers win beyond the battlefield.